Okay, let's work out this example. Simplify. We have a large expression here with exponents. So we're going to break it down as simple as possible. I always look at the numerator and denominator individually first. The numerator doesn't have anything I can simplify, so I'm going to rewrite it. The denominator has a power that I can distribute in. So I know the quantity xy squared is going to become x squared, y squared. Okay, I'm going to go back and see, can I simplify anything in the denominator now that I've distributed the square in? So I'm going to rewrite the numerator. But I see I have a y base and a y base in the denominator that I can combine. I'm just going to rewrite 9x squared, and then I'm going to put y to the third times y squared next to each other. So we know that's going to become y to the fifth, because I have the same base and I'm multiplying, so I add my exponents. So now that I've done the numerator by itself, the denominator by itself, now I look up, down. So what I'm going to do is put the things together that belong together. 3 and 9 are both numbers, so they can be simplified together. X squared over x squared, those can be simplified together. Y to the negative 3 divided by y to the fifth can be simplified, and then z will stand on its own over 1. 3 over 9 simplifies down to 1/3. X squared divided by x squared, you either see that as 1 or you can subtract the exponents and see that it's 2 minus 2. It's going to be negative 3 minus 5, and z will still stand alone. So 1 over 3, x to the 0, y to the negative 8th times z. X to the 0, anything to the 0 power becomes 1. So 1 over 3, anything with a negative exponent becomes the reciprocal. So 1 over y to the 8th times z. My final answer is z all over 3 times y to the 8th. Simplify 2ab times the quantity 3a to the negative 2 times b to the negative 5th. Okay. As normal, I'm going to look for parentheses first. So this is where I will start. So 2ab, so this is going to become 3 to the negative 2 times a to the negative 2 times b to the negative 5th. Then I'm going to group together the things that I can simplify together. So 2, I don't see any, any other base 2, so it'll stay there, but I do have another number, 3 to the negative 2. I'm going to put it in the front as well. A times a to the negative 2, and then b times b to the negative 5th. Okay? 3 to the negative 2 is 1 over 3 squared. A times a to the negative 2, invisible exponent means it's a 1, and I add. So this is a to the 1 plus negative 2. Again, invisible exponent means it's a 1. This is b to the 1 plus negative 5. So then I have 2 times 1 over 9 times a to the negative 1 times b to the negative 4th. Okay, I have negative exponents, so I know they need to become the reciprocal. So this is going to be 1 over a times 1 over b to the 4th. Last step, multiply my fraction straight across. 2 is at the top. 9a b to the 4th, the bottom.
What did the dinosaurs say when the asteroids came?
What?
Fireworks.
This example, I see I have this entire quantity to a -1 exponent. So since everything is in parentheses into this -1 exponent, that means the entire fraction needs to become the reciprocal. So this is going to be 5x squared, 2z squared, all over -2, x to the 4th, y to the -2. Now I'm going to check to see if I have an exponent I need to distribute, and I do because I see a set of parentheses in my numerator. So 5x squared, then this is going to become 2 squared times z squared all over -2, x to the 4th, y to the -2. Okay, then I check my numerator and denominator separately to see if anything can combine, and I don't see anything. So I have 5, nothing else has a base of 5. 2, I have a base of 2 in the numerator and in the denominator. I have an x squared at the top and an x to the 4th at the bottom. Y is a standalone, so 1 over y to the -2, and z squared stands alone, so z squared over 1. Now let's simplify by subtracting our exponents. 5 is alone. Invisible 1 with my 2. 2 minus 1 is 2. So this is -2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is -2 to the 1. X squared over x to the 4th. 2 minus 4 is -2. A negative exponent in the bottom becomes the reciprocal. So it's going to move to the numerator. So it's going to become y to the +2. And then z squared stands alone. Okay, next, 5 is alone. -2 is alone. X to the -2 needs to move to the bottom. Y squared, z squared. Okay, I'm going to put these guys over 1 so that I can multiply everything straight across. 5 times -2 is -10 times 1 times y squared times z squared all over x squared. Okay, let's work through this last example in our medium skill level. So I take a look at my overall expression to start off. I see my entire numerator is to the -1. Not the entire fraction, only the numerator. So I'm going to distribute that exponent to everything in the numerator. So 5 to the -1, x to the -1, y to the -1, z to the -1. All over, then I'm going to check my denominator. Now we've learned this x plus 2, those two guys are married, so that 2 does not distribute into them. Okay, so there's nothing at the top that I can combine. There's nothing at the bottom I can combine, so now I'm going to go top to bottom. 5 to the -1 stands alone. 1 over 3 stands alone. X to the -1 over x squared can be simplified together. Y to the -1 stands alone. Z to the -1 stands alone. 1 over x plus 2 squared stands alone. Okay, 5 to the negative 1 becomes the reciprocal. So that's 1 over 5 times 1 over 3. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Y to the negative 1, z to the negative 1, 1 over x plus 2 squared. Now I'm going to go back and handle my negative exponents. This is 1 over x cubed, 1 over y, 1 over z, 1 over x plus 2 squared. Everything in the numerator is 1, so I know I'm going to have one big 1 at the top, and then I'm going to multiply everything in the denominators. 5 times 3 is 15, times x cubed, times y, times z, times x plus 2 squared. Okay, that's our last example in the medium skill level section. Make sure you watch the video with problems that are just a little bit more difficult and also apply to the SAT.